So now we thank you for the pouring out. God, I thank you for the rain and the move of your spirit. I thank you for fresh oil. I thank you for new wine. I thank you for the new thing that you're doing. I thank you now that it does spring forth. I thank you, Lord, that you've called us to be the head and not the tail. You've called us to be above only and not beneath. You've called us to be the lender and not the borrower. You've called God.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's good to see you on today. This is Friday, and y'all know this is normally where we have our shout. It's Friday, November the 13th in the year 2020. Let me come out here and see what you all are saying. I know you were having a no sound problem. Good morning. I want to say good morning to everybody. I want to say good morning to Mel. Mel was the first one in the studio, and she gets Grandpa Holmes's chair. So I want you all to give it up for Mel Holiday on this morning. Also, I want to say good morning, Mino 3782. Good morning, Royal Confessions. Good, hey, truly 2OP. I'm so glad to see you this morning. Teresa Jones, SK, Bird, 25 out this morning. Y'all see, I got my love over hate hoodie on today because it's even cold here in sunny California. So I want to say good morning to BTD Mom and everybody else that's out there. Also, the Rebel Inc., who was trying to get our prayer going this morning. We were trying to work in concert from 2 remote locations. We didn't quite get it done. Oh, thank you so much, truly. You all inspire me. I want y'all to know I really appreciate you all taking the time and the energy to come and be with me. I am excited about Friday the 13th, but I don't think that's going to be a negative. I take it, as a matter of fact, I don't ever take it as a negative because I'm not superstitious. But at the end of the day, I'm just so excited. Something want to fall down in my eye here. But I'm so excited for the new things that lie ahead and that await. All kinds of love for you, SK. All kinds of love coming your way. And I appreciate you guys. Well, as I said, you see me wearing my Love Over Hate. This is my Love Over Hate collection hoodie from the rebelinc.com, and it's keeping me warm down here in sunny California. And so at the end of the day, I don't have my commercial to run today, but let me be the commercial in live. I want you to go to the rebelinc.com, where she has activewear, where you can wear the message and be the message. So today's message on this fine day, again, Friday, November the 13th, in the year 2020, if we ever needed love before, we sure do need it now. And I'm again wearing Love Over Hate. You've got Championship out there. You've got Black out there. Let's see. There's some more out there, but my brain is failing me. But listen, just go out there and you'll see it for yourself because it is some excellent activewear. Thank you for keeping me warm, Rebel Inc., while I'm down here. I mean, it's chilly. SK8843, Burr is right. So I had to go ahead. Oh, thank you. Let me model it for you. Hey, love over hate. Yes. That's my commercial. I'm telling you, thank you for the compliment. We had to turn on the heat. It's just that cold down here, and the cars are frosted over, and so they're not used to the kind of weather that we normally have back in the Midwest in Missouri and Kansas. So we trying to die this second. Thank you, truly. Thank you. Man, y'all just gonna make me feel good up in here. It's a wonderful thing to be alive right now. Let me get myself together because I thought we were going to have prayer, but that's okay. We're going to go right on in and we're going to jump right in with it. One of the things that I say, great work, absolutely great work. Rebel has really made some designs and really been thoughtful in what she makes, the message that she's sending out. And it's not just frivolous, let me throw me a t-shirt together and start selling it. A lot of thought, a lot of design, and a lot of consideration goes into the message that she puts on her shirts and clothing. I don't want to say just shirts because we've got, this is my hoodie. You all saw me the other day in my sleeved shirt. I've also got my sleeveless shirt down here. I've got my sweats down here. I've got a half crop and it's cute too, y'all. It's cute. I have a half crop. I have everything I can get my hands on that Rebel has. Please check it out. Please check it out because it's some good stuff. Good morning, Mino 3782. Not Frost lit, yes. The cars have frost on them, and who is not happy is me. I came to California thinking I was coming to the heat, not the cold, but it's all good. Whatever we get, we take it, we receive it, and I'm happy to be alive. So at the end of the day, that's the key to that. I'm just happy to be alive. So as we roll on out here, I'm getting ready to ask studio. I appreciate the Rebel Inc. who's running my studio this morning. Are we rolling sound, or we just gonna roll right on through? Okay, we're gonna have some communications here and see which way we're rolling. She's working feverishly. I mean to tell you, she's just all around. As you said, good job, Rebel Inc. On Truly, she does it all. She's a musician. Listen, while she's seeing if we can get that music rolling or not, did you all not enjoy the House of Rebel? That's it, y'all. Did you all enjoy? Listen, for every blues lover that's in here this morning, if you missed the Rebels house last night, it was the place to be because y'all went forth in your ministry. I mean, yeah, listen, it's frosted. Y'all went forth in your ministry. And I heard songs I've never heard before. I mean, I had some that stirred up what I remember, but I also, you enjoyed it truly. I did too. The blues and a sip was lit. It was lit all night long. I'm trying to tell you. And Rebel is doing an excellent job. One of the things that I really like about her community, and it is something that I look for wherever I go, because I protect my energy, y'all. I protect my energy. I don't care if I'm in those Twitch streets. I don't care if I'm in the natural world. I don't care if I'm in the church world. Wherever I go, I protect my energy. And so it was lit. It was lit, Mino. And you learned something, BTD mom. It was some good stuff going on. And then somebody played a newer version of some blues that was off the chain. So it's great. You're a 90s baby, but it was amazing. I know. This is the thing about music. It transcends. It absolutely positively transcends. I'm a child of the 60s. You're a baby of the 90s. But at the end of the day, music has the ability to make that bridge and cross over to where everybody can connect and feel the flow and the energy. That's what happens when you have creatives. Creatives don't just create for the moment. If it's a true creative, they create. That's why people are still reading Shakespeare. That's why people, I mean, come on. That's why a lot of things continue to go from generation to generation. It's because, it transcends when you create from your heart. It transcends when you allow what God has really given you, because whether we realize it or not, all of us are creative in some way, shape, or another. All you got to do is just tap in. So many times we don't tap into ourselves. We enjoy admiring everybody else. But yes, you. That's why I named this podcast, Yes, You, because I wanted to come on every time we got together and encourage you about yourself. I want to encourage the world, yes, but I tell you what, King Coogee, I don't know if he's in here or not, because sometimes he's just lurking and chilling. But King Coogee has a motto on his channel, and that is life, hashtag life, LYFE. And that stands for love yourself first every day. LYFE. Give yourself life. Love yourself first every day. LYFE. And when I went in his channel and saw that, man, it just spoke to me. It spoke volumes to me, because that is, yes, you. I want you to love yourself to life. LYFE. If I can use King Koji's motto from his channel on today, love yourself first every day. So as we move out and go into this realm of newness, Friday the 13th, I feel like, oh my God, the new things that are about to burst on the land, the new things that are about to burst in the earth. That's it. Love it. Life. LYFE. Love yourself first every day. Of course, you know, Coogie's my man. And I mean, you all are coming in. Truly has come in this morning. Truly, do you stream? If you do, we want to give you a shout out. I try to make sure when you come in this space, just about ourselves. It's not just me, myself, and I, but this is a us. This is a us phase. This is a us time. Oh, they're playing Apex Legends. Y'all check him out. Y'all check him out. Go over there and give him some support, because we're in this together. It's no big I's and little U's. Nobody's left out, but it's everybody pulling together and working. Oh, you sing, baby. One of these times we're going to bring you in the broadcast, and I'm just going to let you go forth in your ministry. Truly, truly, truly. Oh my goodness. Well, listen, we're going to have it all. We're going to have it all. I'm going to keep working in this space until we figure out how to do collabs like the Rebel Inc. and Mike City did a collab the other night that just was out of this world. And they were, hey, thank you for the biddies. He's the praise. Oh, come on. Hallelujah. On this fine Friday, let's get the worship in. Come on and worship right there. Come on and worship right there. Truly, truly. Let's get that worship in this morning. And listen, I'm really serious about that thing, because if you open your eyes this morning and you have breath in your body and nobody's looking down on you in a box, it's a blessed thing. Your grandparents are pastors. Come on here. Come on here. The anointing up in the house. I'm so happy. And the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, baby. So I know you got some ministry up in you, sir. So as we go forth, I want all of us to continue to strive to pull together. We're talking about reconstruction. Yesterday, we kind of got in that flow and really started laying some truth down about things that need to be constructed, both in the government. We touched on always the issues in the government. But yesterday, I think we got a little more heavily engrossed in the change that needs to happen in the church. And that's no negative. That is no negative at all. Worship right there. Come on, SK, right there. Just sometimes you just got to stop and give it up. You just can't go another further. You just got to stop and give it up. I love my tradition of worship, and I respect everybody's traditions of worship. No negativity there. I appreciate those that never make a sound, that never move, that never budge. I appreciate those that tears fall down and they go forth in their ministry, but don't say a word. I love those that are quiet and reserved. I appreciate all of it. But honey, this is yes, you. Oh, cute, one-on-one, just me and you. So y'all know how I am. My tradition is very, very expressive, and I enjoy. Y'all can tell just my personality. I would, if I was talking about a dog and a cat and I got excited about it, you're going to get a certain level of excitement and energy, because that's just me. That's my personality. And so that same personality follows me in my worship. So listen, y'all might see me break out and go forth. I'm very demonstrative, and it's not for show. Please understand, even when I'm saying that, I don't do stuff for people to see me. I feel like your worship is personal to yourself. Flow the way that you flow, but whatever way you flow, don't be ashamed, and don't let anybody. Teresa Jones said this on yesterday. If it's not what you feel and it's not comfortable for you, don't do it. But at the same time, I'm going to put the flip side of that coin and say, and what you do feel, don't let anybody shut it down. I'm the same way wherever I go, and I lets it go. And I want to encourage you all to do the same thing, man, wherever you are, because you never, this is what I'm finding out. And I'm gonna get to why we slumbered, slept, and slobbered. But I feel like, kind of going this direction this morning for some reason. And I'm not about to get churchy. Worship is for all. It's not for this particular faith or that particular faith. Your worship is that intimate communion and fellowship you have with the Creator yourself. So whatever way you want to take that, from whatever faith tradition, take it. But again, I'm telling you, this is a season and a time where our power is going to come from being ourselves, not from assimilation, not from copycat, not from this is the way they told me to do it, and one person looking at another person and saying this is right, that's wrong. That goes all the way across the board, whether we're talking about worship, whether we're talking about you living your daily life and the way that you live it, everything, you got to come to that place of where you become at one with yourself. And for some reason, I feel like maybe that's what I want to kind of share this morning while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered. The country is coming into a place where we're more at one with ourselves individually, which is now going to allow us to be more at one together collectively. We've been wanting this to happen and wanting this to happen. But let's be real with this thing. Until we start getting that wholeness and that oneness inside of ourselves, genuinely, those three pillars that we talk about every day, whether it is I got to be transparent with myself. And the more that I'm actually being transparent with myself, then the more I begin to inspect what kind of character, what kind of mindset, what kind of energy, because y'all coming out like pure gold. Can I tell you that this morning? If I don't tell you nothing else, you are pure gold. Yes, you. I ain't talking about your neighbor. I'm not going to tell you, touch your neighbor and tell them you are pure gold. Touch yourself and tell yourself you are pure gold. Now, my mind is going a whole lot of place. He deserves that expression. He's from all creation, Listen, even the trees praise him. Even people talk about the squirrels, but if you ever watch the squirrel literally has praise and worship every time it does something. I'm not joking. You go out the next time, watch a squirrel before he eats, watch a squirrel before he does it. Honey, I'm telling you, but all creation is like that. And this pride, PRID of lions, one of the things that we know how to worship. And again, I'm not talking about a denomination. I'm not talking about a faith. I'm talking about a connection to the earth, to the Creator, to God, that allows us to really come into a whole different place and a whole different level of existence. So yeah, roar, y'all better roar, because the rebel ink, this pride is relentless. You're going to hear us roar. That's it right there. And so I try even in this to not get preachy, but I do try to spit. That's why I said the spiritual thought leader. I have to say, even when I thought about that, I was like, do I really want to take that in the streets and use that for my name? Because some people are going to find that as a deterrent, because many times when folks come out with a title like that, come on and roar. Roar for life. Love yourself first. Every day. Come on up in here. Coogee, man, if you having an impact on the house, brother. You having an impact on the house. Come on and roar. So I'm one of those that I was like, now, is this going to be a turnoff? Because I don't want people to think that I'm getting ready to go into a preachy, churchy kind of thing. Because listen, I want to let you know, I really in my shando feel like what is happening in the universe right now is not about the past trappings of church and religion as we have known it, but it is about a spiritual people. And I believe that God is raising up spirituality and not churchiness. And I believe he's doing it through all kinds of people in all kinds of ways. So if you come on here and you feel connected, I hope it's because that spiritual that's in you is connecting with the spiritual that's in me. And together we go together to do great things and exploits in the spirit. Now, I'm gonna say this because I always like to have a little humor. And so yesterday, while we're talking about our different expressions of worship, somebody, Royal Confessions, I won't call no names, somebody, Royal Confessions, posted on my page. Uh, uh, Listen, I don't care how hard the pastor pushes, I'm not going down. Now, some of y'all don't know what that means, but for you, those of you who do know what I'm talking about, you, not Royal Confessions. Yes, let me confess. Oh, did I say Royal Confessions? Oh, okay. I said I wasn't going to call no names. But anyway, I think it was Royal Confessions. Posted that on my Facebook page yesterday. And so I said, listen, I'm not going down. I just want y'all to know whoever you are and wherever you are. If y'all ever been in those prayer lines where first they snatch you forward, then they snatch you backward, or you'll get the sudden out of the blue, bam, where your head is about snatched and snapped off the back of your neck. Yes, I am unapologetically the spiritual thought leader. I'm like, thank you for that word, BTT mom. I receive it. I'm not one of those. You're not gonna just take me down. Like we playing football, and you want to make me act like it was the spirit. That ain't no spirit. That's a spirit of foolishness. You are not gonna push me over. I had one, they had the music going, dun, 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 dun. And so the beat, he took me forward, and then he took me back, and then he took me forward, and he took me back, and then he took me forward, and then he did a real hard one, and I was supposed to go down on the ground, but baby, I told him, I said, I know the stance. We be swinging, you hear me? Swinging. I'm like, you're not gonna take me down. If the spirit's not taking me out, you sure ain't gonna take me out. Not up here in church. What are we doing taking folks out in church? Bam, 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 pop. Baby, I know the stance. You got to know how to stand. See, you plant that one foot. You plant that one foot, whichever is your dominant foot. For me, it's my right foot. Plant that right foot in the front. Then you take y'all know I'm telling the truth. Take that back foot and plant that back foot so that you got a good, almost like the same way a tripod balances something. We ain't going down. We ain't going down. Plant that back foot, and honey, just keep shifting your body weight. I don't care how they roll you. I'm trying to tell y'all. Teresa said, I'm good. I'm trying to help y'all so y'all can stay up off the floor, especially when it ain't the spirit. King Coogee for life. Love yourself. Come on. Love yourself first every day. Get that foot planted, and man, when they start dun 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 dun, and that music is going, man, and get your sway on. I'm gonna sway all day. Y'all remember back in the day, they said weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. You become a weeble, baby. Weave a little bit. Do the wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble. But whatever you do, you ain't gonna knock me down. At the end of the day, good morning, King Coogee. At the end of the day, the pastor's not gonna knock me down in the prayer line. I'm just trying to let you know. Anybody out there under the sound of my voice, and you think you gonna get spiritual thought leader on the ground. Now, this is what's probably gonna happen. Everybody's gonna try at this point to make me out of a lie, as the old folks used to say. Y'all gonna try to make me out of a lie and get me in your prayer line and see which one of y'all can be the one that took spiritual thought leader down. You ain't gonna win. You're not gonna win. So then one of my other pastor friends came on. Listen, bend but don't break. You better preach, Coogee. Bend but don't break. Don't let them take you down. I'm telling you, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, wobble. I don't care how they going. I don't care how the music is going. You get your wobble on. Oh, we got a new dance up in the church. We do the wobble. They be like, what? Yeah, when you get in the prayer line, we learned how to wobble. Spiritual thought leader taught us how to wobble so we don't go down. Like weebles wobble and they don't fall down. So we coming on. So my pastor, another pastor friend came on and said, oh yeah, the camera is rolling and you going down. Now, for those that don't know what he's saying, when you got the camera footage, roll that beautiful beam footage. You got that camera rolling and you the preacher up there trying to show how anointed you are, and everybody you lay hands on is going out under the power. Baby, I'm going to snap my neck off. Yes, I went out, but it wasn't under the power of the Holy Ghost. Baby, I said, I ain't going down. He said, yes, you going down, my friend. He said, if I got to stand behind you and put my knee in the back of your knee, and they want to unlock that lock. I said, oh, baby. No. Because that's where I'm going to do my ninja somersault. I'm going to flip backwards and I'm going to come up standing in my jujitsu pose. Ah! Y'all thought that scream was a cry. Ah! No, baby, because I'm not going down. I said, and then, let me tell you what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to go forth in the holy dance because he delivered me from the hands of the enemy. Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm trying to tell y'all how to do this thing. And then you just dance your way onto your pew so you don't have to have no more of that foolishness. Just dance. Yeah, just shout and dance your way right onto the pew so you ain't got to deal with that no more. So that was your morning worship. And come on, I'm trying to tell you, shout your way right onto the pew. Shout right on off. And the devil thought he had me, but I got away. I'm trying to teach y'all how not to get pushed down by the pastor in the prayer line. And that's my morning worship. Did I help anybody? Did I, you know how to bring, did I help anybody? Did I help anybody? Because baby, if you don't know, now you know. Plant your legs, get that stance. That's number one. And if they try to pull a stunt, like my friend said he was going to do and take me out and hit the back of my knee with his knee, that's when you go into. Now, I'm trying to tell you, you might have to practice on this at home. You know how people talking about, I had to practice my shout. You might have to practice on this at home. But that's where I'm trying to tell you, you go into your ninja somersault. You might even need to you might have to, get while they got listen, I just got a revelation. That prayer cloth they waiting and standing over to cover you up with, get that towel, get that cloth tied around your head like a ninja. Do your ninja somersault backwards. Come up in your jujitsu pose and then shout right onto your pew. I gave you revelation right there. Did I help? Teresa said, you helped me to stay in my seat. BTD mom, at that point, you just walk out the prayer line because they ain't laying hands on you. Baby, listen, there was a time in a season, I'm trying to tell you, when you got in the prayer line, you needed to have right over there to the side, you needed to have a neck brace. Y'all don't even know what that is. They don't wear them anymore. But you saw people come to church. They have them. That was from being in somebody's prayer line. They had been in somebody's prayer line last night. Then they had to come back to somebody else's prayer line tonight to try to get healed from that prayer line they was in last night. And they all, listen, that neck brace all up. I'm trying to help y'all. Back to Royal Confessions, if that's who did it. I believe it was. Put that on my page. I'm here to tell you this morning on Yes You, O Cube, 101. Just me. Now, you didn't hear it from me now. You didn't hear. Shh. You didn't hear from me. You heard that, honey. You were in the spirit on the Lord's Day, and you heard, oh, up above my head, I hear music in the air. Yeah, so y'all just tell them, shh, don't tell them, don't tell them. I'm like Brian Carn. Brian Carn told his members, if y'all get COVID, I got a shade on that. Brian Carn, I ain't lying on this man. He told his members, if you all get COVID, they were instructed not to tell the hospital they belong to his church. Woo! Now, man of faith, if you really, really, really believe all that you said, and I heard he did go ahead and move his stuff outside and is now doing social distancing. That's what it was reported to me on yesterday, that they told him it was not wise. And so he allegedly, but there are people that say, no, they still congregating and they still are not social distancing and the whole nine. I don't know because I ain't in Charlotte. I ain't there. But I do know it was reported to me by several of his members online that said they were all instructed that if they came down with COVID-19, they were not, NOT, all caps, bold, italicized letters, they were not to disclose that they were from his church. Okay, moving on from that. You heard it here. I'm trying to help you in your worship. I don't want y'all to get wounded, caught up, and sick trying to get in these people's prayer lines. So Rhonda Royal Confessions, you started that. So I ended it this morning just so that y'all know you don't have to go down. You live in Charlotte, it looked like COVID. Come on, King Coogee. Well, there you have it. You heard it from King Coogee. It looked like COVID. It looked like, listen, when it just looks like, it looks like COVID over there. So, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And, you know, I need y'all to use some wisdom on COVID-19 and gathering and congregating together. But I also tried to give you a little wisdom this morning. While you slumbered, slept, and slobbered, something swole up in my spirit. It might have been gas, but something swole up in my spirit. Not my spirit, but my spirit. Something swole up in there. I got pregnant. I was impregnated with knowledge and wisdom, how not to fall down when the pastor try to push you over. All right, receive ye the word of the Lord. Now, while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, y'all know I just like to make y'all have a good laugh. I hope you got a little chuckle out of that this morning. This morning when I rose, yeah, I didn't have no doubt. Okay. Now, as we move on, election officials are directly contradicting Trump on the voting system fraud. King Coogee, if it was gas, you got to let folk get that around. Listen, now this is what I'm going to say. Because we were talking, I was in King Coogee's channel the other day, and he was flowing, man. He was flowing. And he started talking about some gas and letting gas. And I said, listen, go ahead and pass it, because at the end of the day, it changes the atmosphere. Now, y'all know I'm telling the truth. Even if you don't, you may not see it. And I won't get into the deadly silent ones, but it's going to make an impact and change the atmosphere. I guarantee you. SK. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is Friday. This is November the 13th in the year 2020. We're alive. We're breathing. We're moving. We have the activity of our limbs. We have our right mind. We can have a little fun up in the house. Is that all right? I believe you can. Now, this is what the New York Times, while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered. Listen, Nathan, you got it. Either way, it's better out than in. You better ask somebody. That's what my grandmother said. Better out than in. And that was back in the days. My grandmother had some deadly gas. She had that stuff that was lethal weapon. I'm telling you, it was weaponized. They talk about the killer bees. My grandmother had killer gas. And that was back in the day. And I'm getting to while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered. But y'all done started acting silly on this morning. So since we done started on this way, don't get me to cutting up, because, child, I'm a really clown. Grandma, we be riding in the car, and I got some witnesses in my chat today. We be riding. Ooh, now, Nathan. Nathan said one time I woke myself up with some bad gas. Baby, that was beyond lethal. That is against the law. What crawled up inside your tail and died that you can be dead sleep in the middle of the night and pass some gas and wake up? Now, I think you won the award with that one. Yes, SK8843, we would be in an enclosed car. And when they listen, in an enclosed car, yeah, BTD mom, I'm gonna tell you, this is true confessions. Where's Royal Confession? My grandmother would be in an enclosed car, and you know, back in the days, y'all don't know nothing about this for you all that told me you were born in the 90s and 80s and later. But back in the day, we might have, I don't know how many people deep in the car, meaning you had that first row, whoever's butt was actually touching the car seat. Then you had that second row because somebody was sitting on their lap in the car. I'm telling you how we used to ride back in the day before they had all these seatbelt laws and everything else. We might get 10 folk in one car. I ain't lying. I'm telling what God loves, and it's the truth. You'd have that next row. Then you, and hopefully you went by weight, because if you got that heavy child on top of you and a little child on the bottom, it was like, Lord Jesus, we were doing all the way back then. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. So you get that next row and fill it all the way up. We stacked up in the car like that, y'all. You know, it's hot. You can barely breathe because we all clustered together on those seats. And y'all know it wasn't no leather. It was pleather. We didn't have leather back in the day. We had pleather. So we ride. And you know, the thing about that pleather is going to grab that odor and hold it a little longer. Leather can kind of breathe. Pleather ain't got no breath to it. Pleather was saying, just like all of our civil rights babies that done passed on, I can't breathe. Pleather can't breathe, y'all. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Pleather can't breathe. And Pleather just down there crying. Pleather just down there. That's why sometimes seats be all, when you got up, your hip marks was still in the seat. They get all cracked up. That pleather start cracking and just all crack all the way across. Listen, so that pleather, I'm talking about, and then grandma would let one of them silent deadly bombs. I mean, it was atomic. It was the atomic dog. She let one of them, and it just rose up, y'all. Just rose up from that pleather. It just grabbed you by the neck and by the throat and cut your ear off. Just and then you start. Can somebody please roll down the window? We are suffocating in here. She has fumigated this whole car. And my dad would be like, oh, Mom. And Grandma Stem would be sitting there just as cool. And she was a little bitty petite woman, real small, real little, and real dainty. Y'all know when they used to wear, the ladies would wear the real dainty watch with the little chain that hung from the bottom of it. And then she'd put the matching handkerchief. I ain't talking about them big old lap cloths. I'm talking about them little dainty handkerchiefs. They tuck it down in there. Y'all, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. They tuck that little dainty handkerchief down in that watch, and it'd be dainty. That's Grandma. She was dainty all the time. But then after all of that, what came out of that little dainty woman was the devil. Could it be? Could it be? The devil? Dun, dun, dun. What came out of her was the devil. That was an evil spirit. There was something demonic that would come out of that little dainty woman that would almost take out the whole car in one fell fart. And we'd be sitting there like, oh my God, Grandma. And that was her statement, better out than in. Now, while true confessions is confessing up there, if y'all roll back up there about standing in line, this is the direction I'm going, y'all. It's an animal fur. That was her animal fur around the neck with the paws still on it. Some of y'all don't know nothing about that. The feet would still be on that joker, and it just be hanging wrapped around. That was my grandmother, dainty all day long, classy all day long. But when grandma didn't want anything to back up. Something crawled up in Grandma and died. Roll confessions. You ain't lying. Now I'm getting ready to tell on BTD Mom. BTD Mom was one of the fastest cashiers I've ever seen. She could click that thing so fast. I mean, I've never seen, and I'm not lying. I'm not saying this because BTD Mom is my sister. I'm telling this because it's the truth. BTD Mom was the fastest 10-keyer I've ever seen in the world, ever. And I'm not exaggerating. She was anointed on 10-key. So she worked for years and years and years. Y'all don't remember Skaggs. Some of y'all may remember Skaggs. Y'all young folk don't know nothing about Skaggs. Some of y'all older folks remember Skaggs before it was Osco and all that other stuff. Well, Anita started working at Skaggs. Oh, I didn't mean to call her name. BTD Mom started working at Skaggs. And so BTD Mom, she said one day she was struggling with some really bad gas. She's 10 kin. She's ringing up people. That's back in the day when before they had scanners, y'all. You had to key that stuff in. And she was one. Before there was a Sam's where they had those people that could memorize all the codes. She already had all the codes memorized. And she worked at a mall in KCK, a big mall at that time called Indian Springs. It's gone now. Ain't nothing there but a big old hole. But she was at Indian Springs for years and years. Need to be in Skaggs. She'd just be talking and keying, and she scanned. She keyed so fast, people would be like, "Did you ring that up?" Because she rung it up so fast, you didn't know what in the world. So one day she came up in there, and she had some of that deadly. Y'all know what I'm talking about. She had some of that deadly, and I don't know what she ate before she got there, but it tore her up. She had some deadly, and y'all know about deadly. So she's up here keying, and she starts letting out deadly. Bam! First bomb. And the people in the line, and at that time, you know, Indian Springs was jumping. They'd have all kind of, line down the aisles. Boom! People in the line started looking around like, oh my God, what is that? Let me tell you what she did. So BTD mom is keying. This is true confessions. Where you at, Royal Confessions? She and BTD mom, you don't put it out there. She passed the mantle. She said, "Lo, I anoint you with deadly gas. Here it be it unto you." Bam! And she put it on my sister. So my sister standing here keying. Boom! And so people got so offended, and they were trying to figure. So this is what BTD mom did. There was a little old lady in her line. Now, BTD mom, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. There's a little old lady standing in BTD mom's line. And so BTD mom, now mind you, she's the one letting these deadlies. She looks over that little woman, and she's keying like, looking at her. So all the people think that this little old woman is letting out these deadlies when in fact it's BTD mom. She's keying and she's looking face all tore up, and oh my God, like I can't believe. And you know what the reality of that? You always believe it's the little old lady that let the deadly. No, it's discrimination, y'all. We know it's discrimination, but y'all testify. I said be transparent. I said inspect and adapt. Now y'all know she blamed the little old lady. She did. Listen, she blamed that poor little old innocent woman. Not she didn't say a word. If I couldn't say a word, I just waved my hand. She didn't say a word. She just glanced her eyes. She just kept glaring over there at her like, oh, I just can't believe what, oh my. You mean you done come up in the line and letting deadlies like that? Because y'all have to understand, my sister keyed so fast. A lot of times when they had her down there at Skaggs, they didn't give her no help because she rang just that fast. She cleared the line all by herself. We don't need another employee, and they saving themselves some money. So when you in that kind of position, you don't get to get off the line. You don't get the opportunity to leave the register. So she's standing there on that register for hours at a time. What do you do when you got deadly and you can't get off the register? Baby, you just start looking at the little old lady, because at the end of the day, y'all believed it. See, I talked about Dolly. I keep talking about Dolly. Y'all just believe that it's the little old folks. Because, you know, the old folks, this is what we think about them. You think that gas been trapped up in there for so long. That gas been trapped up in there for so many years. That gas been dying to get out. That's why it's deadly. It been dead up in there for about 50 years. Yeah, that gas, it been saying, oh, when will I finally be able to stretch and get out of this cramped up belly? It been up in them intestines. It done turned them intestines green. It done rolled them up, roll them over, throw them in the pan. It done did all of that. I'm talking about that deadly. And so y'all believe, y'all discriminate against the old folks. Y'all discriminate against the elderly because you just automatically think it was the elderly that let that deadly. But no, it was BTD mom. So we know now. I'm confessing on her behalf because she put it up there. Just released all of her sins, Coogee. She released all of her sins in one. brrr, but it was quiet. It was silent. And y'all know how them silent ones, those are the hot ones. Those are the ones that like your booty's in hell. It's so hot, it just skeeps. It just kapow, SK. Kapow. But the kapow is not in the sound. The kapow is in the power that it has when it comes out. Power. I'm talking about power. It is the ability to change the whole entire atmosphere. I'm trying to tell you. So at the end of the day, I want y'all to get saved. As he said, it released all of her sins. Silent but deadly. Y'all know what deadly, silent but release it and release that foul demon. Release that foul demon. Somebody must need to go this morning because how do you spell relief? Let it go. Isn't that what they said on what was that movie that came out? The Ice, whatever. Let it go. Let it go. And again, I'm trying to tell you, this is a great sermon. Thank you. Listen, number one, I done preached and told you how to keep from falling down on the ground when they try to push you down in that prayer line. Now I done told you how to release. There is a release on the house. There is a release down in that shando. There is a release that's ready to come. Turn it loose. Turn it loose. Do you hear me? Stop holding on to it. Let it go. I'm telling you, you will feel so much better in your soul and in your body. Some of it, I'm trying to tell you, some of y'all been struggling because you've been holding on to deadly far too long. Let deadly go and flush. 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 I need you to get it all the way out of your system. Flush. Get that foul demon out. Flush. And listen, you getting this word today, you don't hold that devil in no more. Don't hold it in no more. And don't you come back no more. Well, it's going to come back in a few days because if you keep eating, you're going to have something else that need to come out. Don't look, listen, not like sin. You know, a Rebel, she has sin. We heard Cynthia, Monica. I don't know if Monica's on here today, but she likes sin. And honey, she gets down and she backs that thing up. And then she'll tell her, look back at it. Look back. But listen, Royal Confessions told you, don't look back. Don't look back. Just flush and walk away. Just flush and walk away. And I want y'all to know, listen, I want you to hear me when I say this. I told you discriminate because y'all want to blame it on the old people. But the reality of it is these babies come here now and they can let some deadly. And I'm just like, what in the world happened to you? Mr. Tootie, what done happened to you? Anyway, y'all don't know about Mr. Tootie. We had a man that lived in the neighborhood and, you know, his hygiene wasn't up to par. And so SK 8843, I got confessions on everybody today. And there's something about funk must be in the air. Could it be that Trump is still acting like he's president? Oh, anyway. So something about funk is in the air today. So I had to deal with Mr. Tootie. You know how children are. Children are just, you know, if you ever want to hear the truth, get around some kids because they will tell you your breath stinks. You know, you be all up in their face. I'm like, oh, you're so cute. You something, baby. They be there with that face all tore up, looking at you like, back up off of me. And you say, what's wrong? Your breath stinks. I smell body odor. I mean, that kids, they real. They don't hide it. They don't hide. So now everybody's not family here. Truly, I just got a couple of sisters on here. But at the end of the day, some of the folks on here, I don't even know y'all, but we family. We family because I love you. I know you love me. We're all a part of God's family. I'm gonna sing the whole song. Pray with me. Oh, okay. Anyway, at the end of the day, when Mr. Tootie was coming down the street, you could smell Mr. Tootie coming before he got there. So SK 8843. So listen, SK 8843. We all are songwriters. We've been in church all our lives. So, you know, we just can't help it. It's just in us. It just oozes out. And we all play instruments and sing and all that good stuff. So SK 8843, wrote a song about Mr. Tootie. Mr. Tootie with the combat booty, yeah. Mr. Tootie with the combat booty. I can remember the words to the song. When he comes by, you smell the dookie in the air. Pew, pew, pew. Mr. Tootie, what done happened to you? But anyway, at the end of the, now she wrote that song when we were little kids. I don't even know if I was in school yet. But at the end of the day, I still, at nearly 60 years old, remember her song of Mr. Tootie with the combat booty. And I'm telling you, nowadays, now Mr. Tootie was old, and I do believe he probably had some incontinence. Now, as little children, we didn't understand old people with incontinence, but I do now, because I wear Depends when I need to. No, I'm just playing. But ain't nothing wrong with Depends. You can depend on Depends. When you get a certain age and your bladder starts to matter, you better reach over there and get you a Depend. Stop being proud. Get you a Depend, or your stuff's gonna be wet. Your stuff's gonna be messed up. You hear me? Get you something. But anyway, I think about Miss Tootie, and I'm like, but listen, these babies, and I don't know if what we're feeding them in the bodies, you know, because back then you had to breastfeed. These poor mothers, whether they wanted to breastfeed or not, they had to breastfeed, unless they just couldn't get enough milk together and they milk duds to feed those babies. If there wasn't enough milk in your milk duds, I nurse them with these. I nurse them with these. If you didn't have enough milk in your milk ducts, you didn't nurse, but everybody else, you were expected to nurse. Get that pump out and pump some and put it away. Y'all remember the breast pump when the mothers be up there pumping that milk out of their breast? That's the way we grew up. And so now you don't find as many individuals, young mothers that may be opting. I think there's a surge and a resurgence now where people are saying, let's go back to the natural. Let's go back. And there's a breastfeeding movement going on right now where they're trying to get young mothers to breastfeed. I don't discourage it, because at the end of the day, these formulas and all this special stuff they're giving these kids, talking about vitamins and whatnot, I don't know what's in that stuff, because children today are not like children like we used to be back in the day. They come here gargantuan. They come here with all kind of maladies and sicknesses and diseases that was unknown to babies before. And you can say it's our bodies passing off whatever illness there is to the children, but I really believe some of it is this stuff that they're putting in, these chemicals and whatnot in these babies' food, whether it's preservatives in the baby food, whether it's whatever, something ain't right. But we went through a phase where all of a sudden these kids come here looking like they've been here before. I'm looking at this girl telling me she's 7 years old and she looked like she's 15 and got all the parts of a 15-year-old. I'm like, bam, bam. What is that? What is that? And I don't know if I think it's something about why, and I'm gonna say this, I really feel this way, why I feel it's more prevalent in low income areas where I feel like they've been using our babies. And I'm not a conspiracy person, but I'm just saying, I feel like they've been using our babies almost like an experiment of some sort, because they're not normal babies. And so I'm not going to go into all of that, but that's just my personal belief. And you don't have to, come on, feed them babies that organic food. At the end of the day, I know that we were different when we were really breastfed, and things were different. But man, I'm telling you now, deadly. The babies got deadly. And I'm like, you too young to have deadly like that. I mean, I ain't even came in the house yet. I'm standing outside the door and I smell deadly. I'm like, deadly in the house. What is in here? And I walk in the door and there's little Junior with his legs sprawled, getting his diaper changed. Something ain't right. Something's not right. I should not be able to smell Junior's deadly all the way outside. Something ain't right. And then sometimes they take the diaper off, ain't nothing in there. It's empty. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't no extra. It wasn't no substance. It wasn't nothing laid up in there. It was just deadly. And I'm like, Lord Jesus, I don't know if I could live here if Junior and little Juniorette are letting that kind of deadly, somebody got to go. And it ain't going to be me because I'm paying rent. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, am I on the road, Royal Confessions? You started it, Royal. You started it. Listen, let him lead you, not the aroma. I'm trying to tell you. Listen, at the end of the day, y'all know I like clown. I love to just act silly. And listen, I am spiritual thought leader. I'm real spiritual right here. Spiritual thought leader on Yes You, OQ, one-on-one, just me and you. Because I tells it like it T-I-Z-Tis. How do we take our coffee? No cream, no sugar. We takes it black and strong because I tell it like it T-I-T-is. Now, while y'all laughing and talking about how silly I am, y'all, the reason why you all are laughing, you know I'm telling the truth. You know, Little Junior's deadly is worse than any deadly we've ever seen in all the span of time on the face of this earth. We ain't never had deadly like this. So it's a new day. It's a new way. That's all I can say. Deadly. Now, at the end of the day, I'm gonna say this. I'm glad y'all know a little laughter, a merry heart is like medicine. I believe that, and so I've always been a clown. Before I started in the ministry, before I moved into the different areas of life that I've moved into, I've always been a clown. I used to clown at church. And we get to choir rehearsal. Those were the days where you had church all day long. We started with early Sunday school, and then we had church, and my grandfather could preach. I ain't talking about the service. My grandfather could preach for 3.5 hours or more, just the sermon. And then you go downstairs and eat. We all ate together because everybody was traveling. And then you came back upstairs and you had choir rehearsal. And then after choir rehearsal was over, you had YPWW. Well, choir rehearsal was my first stage, baby, because, honey, choir rehearsal, I could be clowning. So I'm telling you, this is a word. I want y'all to understand. Now, first natural, then the spiritual. Because while you all, that gas might cure. That might be the cure. That might be the cure. That might be the cure. See, if all of y'all, let's see now, y'all done messed me up. All of y'all go ahead and let your deadly. Go ahead and let your deadly. And see, just see if COVID-19 don't start backing up. COVID-19 got to pay attention. COVID-19 realizes they done released deadly on the earth. I am no foe. I am no force against all of the pride, PRIDE, of lions that have come. I told you it was going to be a rumbling. I told you it was going to be a rumbling. I told you it was going to be like thunder. I told you. You all that been listening to me, you know I prophesied it days ago that there was going to be a thunder. There's going to be a rumbling. There was going to be a sound of the pause, PAWS, that was going to cause people to pause, PAUSE. I just didn't tell you it was going to be deadly. But now you know. It's deadly. It's deadly. Now, this is what I do want to say, because I can always go first natural, then spiritual. The same way I am saying, it'll keep folks at home. I'm telling you, loose here, and it might lose something else. Shucka bucks boo boo. Shucka bucks a boo. But anyway, it is time for us to release all of the foul, all of the deadly, and I'm serious here. All of that deadly that's in us, get it out. I know that I've said it in a very comical and silly and jokester kind of way, because I want to make you laugh. I want to make you have some levity. I want you to enjoy life, and I want to hear the he and kiki. Loose bowels, open folks. Baby, don't let it be loose, because just when you thought it was just a little tinge of deadly, and it's like something else popped out. Oh, Lord, something else. and that ugly look, that ugly look on the face, Lord Jesus, that ugly look that's on the face is unforgettable. You just, it's like, oh my God, what? Listen, chart work, that's what it is. It's all combined together into one new word, chart. All combined together. I just had a chart. I just had a chart, y'all. Woo, y'all acting silly up in here. Act right. Y'all straighten up and act right. This is your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, telling all of my lions in this pride. Y'all act right, because y'all cutting up this morning. Cutting up, cut, cut the cheese. Oh, okay. Anyway, all of that. The same way we're talking about releasing it in the natural. I want you all to realize that what I'm encouraging you to do, all of that foul stuff. Oh, laughter is a medicine. I'm telling you, it'll heal you. All of that foul stuff that has been deposited in us, because number one, I'm dealing with myself. I'm looking inside myself. I'm getting, and the thing about, even if we look at gas, it's coming from all of that, whatever we've eaten, it starts translating and transferring over into gases, and that's where the odor comes from. The different gases that are being released off of whatever that was that you ate and got down in your system. And I'm telling you, even in this time right now, we're eating, whether you realize it or not. We're eating what goes on in the world, what goes on in your family, what's going on in government right now, what's going on in whatever you're bringing into your space of energy. That is creating, you're digesting that, you're ingesting that, and then digesting it. And so what comes off of that, as you get all of that nutrition, you get the good out of it, and the bad, you get ready to make that brown stuff so it can get out of your system. Well, in the meantime, while all of that's going on, and even before, down in the stomach, while it's down there trying to get those juices and starting to break all of that up. Or if you notice, sometimes you all recognize you start getting gas when you haven't eaten anything, because those juices are in there and they want something to digest, but you've not ingested anything. And so those juices, when there's nothing that's been ingested, it just starts, and y'all know your stomach starts bloating and swelling up, and there's a hungry gas. There's a I haven't eaten gas. I need to eat gas that you can have. And I want you to take that both ways, because the reality of it is, if you're not ingesting, and I want you to pay attention, and that's why I start talking about what kind of energy are you bringing into yourself? What kind of energy? And we're still, I really, I don't know how we ended up here, but we're here. But I can always take it and use it. Whatever is out there, we can use that. So if we look at the reality, we've been talking about reconstruction as the things in our lives that need to be adapted, that need to be adjusted, looked at. I want you to pay attention again. In this season and in this time, what are you ingesting? And I'm gonna keep coming back to the concept of energy. If something is zapping your energy, if something is taking and draining your energy away, or the flip side of that, everything's not always negative. Understand, there's typically two sides to every coin: heads, tails, good, evil, fast, slow. I mean, it's typically two sides. So don't automatically go to the negative without also exploring the positive, because there's a positive side to that thing too. So if I'm looking at that and I'm saying, how does my body, we're talking about the pride, PRIDE, of lions coming together. How is that body going to get energy? We're going to have to ingest something that feeds us energy. And so we're ingesting, we're eating it. Eat all of it. Then once it gets down into our system, Then we allow the process of digestion to begin that will oftentimes have a byproduct of gas. And so as we're going through reconstruction, I need us to understand we're ingesting, we're coming together. Do you know how that I start saying how that bowel formulates, but how the energy to get into your body system and start feeding the cells. You take in oxygen, it goes through the process, then it sends it to all the cells. Well, when you eat, what you ingest brings in the nutritional value of whatever it's bringing to the body. And we are the body. We're coming together to be one good, strong, solid body. We ingest. It may be truly that has something for me today. And then King Coogee brings something to me today. Then Teresa Jones brings something to me today. Then Nathan Lamont, Sheila K, BTD Mom, Rebel Inc. Everybody's bringing something, and we're because listen, if you're like me, you want to be able to have the option at the smorgasbord to be able to say what it is that you want to eat, what it is that you want to ingest. If it doesn't fit your palate, you don't put it on your plate. But this is the beauty of it. I can have a little dab and get a little bit of everything and enjoy it to the fullest from the variety. Just and that's the thing about when you go to places like that. And then you got those folk straight up, they know when they go, they're gonna get the same thing. You know, and sometimes I look at people and I'm like, but you could have had a hamburger at home. You mean we came out here to the restaurant to pay $50 for a hamburger? You could have had that at home. But some people, they're going to get that hamburger because that's what they eat, hamburgers. And they will never venture outside of that taste. That's what my taste buds are accustomed to. That's all I want. Well, I'm trying to get us to the point now where we begin to understand. Good morning, Lynette. I want us to understand that we're in a season and a time now where you can have more than just that same hamburger every time you go out. The table is spread and the feast is going on. You can, hey, not being able to pass gas is deadly. You better say something there, BTD Mom. You ain't even lying. Listen, if you've ever been locked up, and I have been after surgery, I got locked up, y'all, and I couldn't pass nothing. And they almost take me back to the hospital because I was jacked up. You hear me? You have to have that ability where you can really eat from the whole table. Diversity, equity, inclusion. What we're really talking about is coming to a phase and a space now where we can eat from the whole table. But at the end of the day, just like whether it's in solid form or whether it's in gas or whether it's in liquid, the solid is that brown stuff. The liquid is urine. And excuse me, that's what I just had right there. Excuse me, y'all. That gas, and that's from the hungry. That's from the hungry. I need something on my stomach, even at 6 o'clock in the morning here in my time. You need to be able to release. Once you've drawn everything from it, you need to be able to release it that no longer serves you. That no longer, there's nothing else I can get from this. It needs to be expelled. And BTD Mom took me someplace. I was working my way there, but honey, she said, you just like a regular old preacher. Y'all just stretch out a story for 5 hours that you could have said one sentence and been done, close the book and sit down. Well, that's what preachers do. We talk all day long. Baby, it'll tear you apart on the inside. I'm here to tell you. Oh, thank you for following, Marlo Reynolds. Thank you so much for following. At the end of the day, you get into this place where you have a need. This conversation is about a little bit of everything, Marlo. We done covered it all. We done talked about everything, and I got hung up on gas. But I try to take the natural and bring it into the spiritual, into the what we can apply into our lives in an allegory or in a parable, and what we can get away from it. So when we get to the point where we understand I still need to get stuff out of my system. And I want us, as we're talking about reconstructing and restructuring, We can't get bound up and locked up. We can't let that deadly get up in there and not let it out. Nathan Lamont said something earlier, better out than in. Because baby, if that stuff gets all trapped up inside of you, and hear me when I say, so I said there's a solid, there's a liquid, and there's a gas, and we excrete those out of the body because they don't serve the body anymore. It's got to come out. If you can't get the liquid out, we need to put you on dialysis because we need to get that out. It needs to come out. We got to get it out of your body. The solid, if you can't pass that, we're going to take you to the hospital again. Why? Because it needs to come out. You can't have all of that sitting up inside of you and you can't pass it. But this is what I want you to hear when I'm saying in this analogy. Since we came here this morning, and this is where our worship started, this is where our worship is going to end. We got to understand this, that gas, liquid, all matter, liquid, solid, gas. So we've understood I need to excrete and get rid of and expel the liquid and the solid, but too many times we let that gas get trapped all up in there. Now, if you have ever had trapped gas and it moves all up in your chest, and baby, it'll make you feel like you're having a heart attack. Expel anything that distracts you from life, as King Coogee said. King Coogee, and King Coogee, I hope it's okay for me to use, and I did give you credit. I didn't come in here taking your stuff and then be like, look what, no. I told him, you wasn't here yet, but I told him, listen, life, love yourself first every day. I need you expel anything that distracts from loving yourself first every day. Life, as King Coogee has put it out there. Hashtag life, LYFE. Love yourself first every day. You allow that gas, it will erode your insides if it does not belong within your body, spiritually and physically. And so thank you, baby. Thank you for letting me use it. But hey, I got to give you credit because that's where it came from. I appreciate and I honor and I respect the source. I'm not going to take what you created and put my name on it. But King Coogee, hashtag life, love yourself every day. I'm trying to get us to understand it has to be expelled. As SK 8843 said, it has to be expelled. You got to get that stuff out so it doesn't start eroding the internal organs and what's inside, disrupting your whole entire system. And so, yeah, we focus on the solid, we focus on the liquid, but today, obviously, the Spirit wanted us to focus on the gas because the gas is just as deadly. So I want you to get to that point. Yeah, I love it too, Mino. When he said it the other day when I was in his stream, I said, "Oh, listen, I got to use that because that's all the way live. That's all the way live." I'm looking and I'm saying to us, don't get caught up because you know how we do. We post all the brown stuff and the flies. Y'all know that's even in my show. I'll push the button and y'all and the flies. That fly flying around that pile of brown stuff. And as I said, we understand the expelling of the liquid. And I think back now, and as you get older, you did something about aging. You can't hold that liquid as long as you used to. And I used to laugh at my dad. We'd go on a trip somewhere, and as soon as we got out of the car, he was tiptoeing. And y'all know how y'all do the I gotta go dance. You just can't stand still. You dancing and bobbing upside up, just going, because you're trying to get to that toilet. And then now listen, is it psychological or what? Because is it just, I know it ain't just me. I'm gonna put it out here. Y'all go ahead and testify and tell the truth, because I know it's not just me. When you're in that condition, you get right there to the toilet, and then you get that where you crouch over and that one leg starts going up and down because you're looking at the toilet, you're looking at it, and you're right there at it. But it's like, oh my God, it's like I gotta go right now. I can't even turn around. I can't even pull my stuff down. And you trying to do all of that at the same time. You're trying to hold it. You're trying to pull down your clothes. You're trying to get yourself together. So and child, and your muscles are so tense Your muscles are so tight because you're trying everything you can to really hold those muscles that matter so you don't get a leak. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to keep this old building keep on leaking, and my soul has got to move. You standing, and then God forbid if it got come from both sides at the same time. Y'all know what I'm talking about? And you standing there and you're just in that position and you're frozen. That's what it was. That movie I was talking about, Frozen. Let it go, let it go. No, you don't let it go just yet. You don't let it go just yet. Don't let it go. Don't let it go. You got to stand there. You see your deliverance. You got to stand there, and you shouting in one place. That's it, Nathan. You just but you can't shout too hard because something might leak. And so you're standing there and you're in that tension of the moment and you're thinking, Lord, please, 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 because I don't want to have to clean up this floor. I don't want to have to clean up the wall. I don't want to have to clean up all of this. I just want to be able to sit my hips and haunches over this toilet and let it go. Well, I used to laugh at my dad when he would do that. And I mean, he would exit stage right. He'd exit that vehicle almost running. Literally sometimes, and then from both kinds of running. So at the end of the day, he said, as I would be cracking up when he came out the door, just keep living. And I'm here to testify. I just kept living by the grace of God. And I understand it better by and by. Do I have a witness? I understand it better by and by. Because, honey, I've had some experience. I already testified on depends. I already told y'all about depends. Because sometimes you need that depend on whom you can depend to the end. And the end is being able to sit your haunches over that toilet seat. So at the end of the day, depending on where you are in the stage of age, and I'm going someplace even with that, as we mature and as we get older, we can hold on to the stuff that needs to be expelled for shorter periods of time. It becomes more critical. Get that out of my system. Young folks, when I was young, I can remember when, because I was one of those, I didn't want to expel anything out in public, including gas. And some of y'all like that. Y'all don't want to expel anything out in public. I don't want to go to nobody's restroom. I don't want to go. I want to go back home and to the confines of where I'm comfortable, and then I expel. So I would hold myself for whole long periods of time. And the old folks used to tell me, girl, you better stop doing that. You better stop doing that. That's going to tail off on you after a while. You better stop doing that. When you're younger, you can do that. Now, I want you to stay with my analogy that I'm bringing to you here. When you're younger, you'll hang on to stuff that you need to have expelled for longer periods of time because your immaturity and your lack of wisdom has you holding on, has you keeping it inside, has you retaining that needs to be expelled for whatever reason, whatever those reasons are. I didn't want to embarrass myself. Or for me, sometimes it was just a matter of they ain't clean. That room ain't clean. Your bathroom ain't clean. You ain't clean. I'm not going to the bathroom here. So whatever it is, that youthfulness had the tendency to hold on to what needed to have been excreted way past its time. Because I was one of those, if I went to school early in the morning, at the end of the day, until I got back to my house, I was still holding on to what should have been excreted. We going to the bathroom, I'm going in there, I'm shutting the stall door, and I'm standing there and I'm coming back out. Unless I just couldn't help it. Because at the end of the day, I'm not getting ready to go. And then, oh my God, by the time those of y'all that do the squat, listen, if you gonna squat, can you at least try to get it in the hole, that big old hole? And it's like y'all get right there to the edge and just pee all over everything. Just what are you doing? And I've seen almost the same with, as my mother calls it, BM. And I'm like, you mean to tell me you couldn't get your hips over that big old hole? I don't care, even if you're going to squat. Could you at least try to get it in the hole? You're just nasty. And I just can't do it. I just can't do it. So at the end of the day, yeah, sometimes you got to be the one to tear the paint off the walls at another place. Cleaning ain't always clean work. Come on here. So at the end of the day, do I need to shave? At the end of the day, I'm just like, get your stuff in that big old hole. But At the end of the day, I'm not going here because y'all nasty. And then when you come out of the bathroom, you don't wash your dirty hands. You're nasty. You done did this and that and the other. And I ain't seen one drop of water. You just walk out the door like you're nasty. And so I'm like, that's okay. I'll wait till I get home. But this is, and I got to unshade here because I'm going back to the truth. At the end of the day, as my adult caretakers were telling me, I was doing myself a disservice. Now, you figure it out. Figure out a way. Figure out, and I was just so happy when they finally came up with the toilet. And I still ain't gonna sit on it, but at least we can put it over and have some kind of barrier. It ain't nothing but a little thin piece of paper, and it may all be mental, but at the end of the, just downright nasty, Teresa. Just downright nasty. I'm telling you. And so apparently it gives enough veil to cover my mind that there's some barrier between me and that nasty stuff that these nasty people don't come in. And that's only at the point of when I just didn't have any other choice. But listen, let me tell you, because I understand the importance of not holding and all of this. What I started learning to do, and I need somebody to hear me, whatever it takes, get your release. Come on, Nathan Lamont, you better preach up in here. What I learned to do is strategy. If I know I'm about to be somewhere for a length of time, I try to make all the preparations and do all that I can before I get in that environment. Carry your Clorox wipes. Honey, we're preaching in here, whether you realize it or not. I'm first natural and then the spiritual. Carry your Clorox wipes. Carry what you need to disinfect your environment. And carry what you need to address what nasty people did before you, so you can do what you need to do. Am I talking to anybody? I'm preaching right now, whether y'all hear the sermon or not. I'm preaching right now. Carry whatever you need to disinfect your area. But at the end of the day, you have to come to a place, you have to come to an area where you learn in maturing. You are going to have to stop trying to hold that stuff for so long. Whatever precautions, whatever arrangements, whatever, and then, hey, it just may be straight up, I need a depend today. Gird up your loins. Gird up your loins with a depend. Am I talking to anybody? Gird up your loins with something you can depend on, something you can rely on, something that is a means. Now, you're not meant to live in that depend. And listen to me when I say this. The depend is just to help you in the areas where you might get a little dribble and dibble between here and there. You don't just sit there on the depend and let everything loose. There it is. And then keep on walking around with your diaper full. No, a depend, am I talking to anybody? A depend is just for an emergency situation where you need a little help to get you over the edge. You need a little help to get you past until you can do something different. But listen, at the end of the day, whatever you need to do, get the stuff that no longer serves you out of your system, preferably as soon as possible. And I said it, as you get older, and that aging, I'm equating to maturity. As you get older, as you mature, you begin to realize and learn how not to keep all that stuff inside. Because just as much as it's deadly when we smelled it out, it was deadly when it was in. And Coogee already let you know, it starts to erode what's on the inside. Eat the fish. Come on, Royal. Eat the fish, spit out the bones, absorb the nutrients, and do that brown stuff to the excess, including not just the solid, not just the liquid, but the gas too. The gas represents that you cannot see, and sometimes you may not be able to hear it. I want you to hear me when I say this point, because sometimes the thing that you need to be transparent and inspect It's not going to be visible to the eye. It's not going to have a sound, so to speak, and I'm talking figuratively, but it's there nonetheless. It needs to be expelled nonetheless, even though it's not out here making all the noise, because I already said it. Sometimes it's the silent ones that are most deadly. Internally, Nathan, that's it. Internally. I want you to have that concept. Got to have your spiritual sifter to get the gold out the sand. That's a word right there. That's a word right there. Sift it, sift it, sift it. Set a standard, set a guideline, the holes in the sifter. Get you a base. And in anything, start to begin to shake it up. It's a whole lot of shaking going on. And really, you get all of that inside and start shaking it around. The shaking up of it will cause it to need to pass, to need to come out, to need to be expelled. Shake it up. We've been talking about this for some time. I'm encouraging everybody in this season and in this phase, become comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's the shaking up. That's the shaking up part. Begin to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because I'm not just going to sit here and just let it be status quo, business as usual. This is the way I've always done it. This is the way I've always seen it. Shake that stuff up. Shake it up. Sift it. And then what remains of value, hang on to that. My contact said I'm done for today. So at the end of the day, this is what I want you all to understand. I want you to take what we've talked about today in a very, very comical way. And, you know, my intent and goal is often just that. Let's come in and laugh. Let's come in and talk about real stuff. Let's come in and have a good time discussing and having conversation with one another around a particular area or idea. Don't let anybody force you out of your space. When I talk about, ain't no pastor gonna push me down in the prayer line. That is representative of don't let anybody make you do something that's not you, that you don't feel, and that's not real in your life, just for the purpose of making them look good, making them look powerful, making them look better, making them look, oh, what an anointing. And I'm talking not just in this in the churchy realm. I'm talking in all realms of life. Don't let people push you down in the prayer line. You hear me? It's under the guise of I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you get to the next level. But it's really about, like my friend said to me, oh, we on camera, you going down. That's what he told me. If we on camera, you going down. Because God forbid that I stand here and look like I didn't have enough power to knock you out under the anointing. Listen, take your lives back. Let's go back to Coogee, King Coogee, #life. #life spelled LYFE. Love yourself first every day. LYFE. Love yourself first every day. In this time and season of bringing ourselves into a wholeness, I got to be whole first. Put on your mask. Put on your oxygen before you try to help your babies. Put your oxygen mask on. That's all I'm telling you to do right now. And then as we're going through this process, expel. But you already know about the solid. You're comfortable with that. You're cool with the liquid. But that silent deadly, I need you. Thank you for the biddies. I need you to deal with the silent deadly. That internal. Get that, your heart, your mind, your emotions. I need you to deal with the silent deadly that's operating in your space. It's all in there and it wants out. It's screaming to get out. And that's why I said, man, when it gets trapped up in there, it'll make you feel like you're having a heart attack. True story. I had a friend who went to the hospital and was thought to have been, and they were going through all of this. Now this is back in the day, because now they know to look for enzymes and other things before they determine that you're having a heart attack. But she was in such distress, they thought she was having a heart attack, and they went in and did emergency surgery, and it came back the girl had gas. And that's a true story, I'm not making that up. So at the end of the day, I'm trying to tell you that silent deadly trapped up in you, you can't let that stuff fester. Come on, SK. You just cannot let that stuff fester. Don't let it get trapped up in you. Some of us are going to let, and listen, even in 2020 has been a year of revelation. And we also said that revelation is not only seeing what it is we need to change, it's also our unveiling. It's also me being revealed, what it is that I'm here for and what it is. So as we have seen 2020, there's so many things that we've had to ingest. And at the end of the day, we've ingested, we've gone through the process of digestion. And now I'm telling you, for all that needs to be let go, let it go. Because it's better out than in, as Nathan Lamont said. And as my grandmother said when she would do the deadly. And so there's so much power. And I said this, I'm gonna close out. King Coogee, this started the other day in humor when King Coogee said something about passing gas. And I said to him, that's okay, because it still changes the atmosphere. And to understand, really, even as we expel whatever it is, it gets attention. It does. It gets attention. You can be sitting in the room and everybody just sitting there minding their own business, and somebody lets out a deadly. Heads start turning. Folks start looking, because the atmosphere has been changed. And at the end of the day, and for the better, because the person that passed it needed to release it. We'll pay attention, because there are times you need to excuse yourself and do that in private. And that's a reality, first natural and then the spirit. There are times when you need to excuse yourself and then do it in private. But there are times when, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. And it needs to be released right here and get the whole room's attention. So as we come out of all we've been through in 2020, and it's for the better, it's for the betterment of the country, it's for the betterment of the world, but most importantly, it's for the betterment of you. #life. Love yourself first every day. Get rid of it, pass it, change the world, let it go. So as I often say, as we come to the end of another day, I hope you all enjoyed what I shared on today. It may have been unorthodox, but I'm not a person of orthodoxy. So, it is what it is. I'm just your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman. And this is Yes, You, Oh, Cute, one-on-one, just me and you. And I've enjoyed this conversation with you on today. I hope that you enjoyed it, however unorthodox it may have been. At the end of the day, get that gas, and we're talking about reconstructing. As we get ready to reconstruct, I'm going to need you to continue. And that's an ongoing process. You don't do it just once and then it's gone. It's an ongoing process. Every day, your body is ingested. Every day, your body is taking out and digesting what it can get. And every day, it wants to get rid of the solid. It wants to get rid of the liquid. But don't forget, it also wants to get rid of the silent deadly. As my friend Rhonda World says, if you don't deal with it, it will deal with you. Don't let that silent deadly get trapped up, because baby, it'll have you ready to go to the hospital. I'm for real, for real. So if you don't deal with it, it will deal with you. Thank you for the biddies, BTD Mom. I want to thank everybody that came down here in my chat. There's so many that are not in the chat, but you're here with me on today. I appreciate it. Mino, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the word. Take it with you, because this is truth. This is truth all day long. Thank you so much, SK8843. And I failed. Before I get up out of here, I got to thank my sponsors. The Rebel Ink is my corporate sponsor, but I've had all kind of sponsorship from individuals that have been helping to bring this stream to you every day. So I want to say, Ann Irvin on yesterday, Nathan Lamont almost every single day, BTD Mom every day, SK8843, Royal Confessions, and everybody else out there. But I'm really focusing on those that for the week by week. But there's so many. I appreciate you, and I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. I hope this is feeding you, because y'all are feeding me. Truly, truly, truly. You guys are feeding me. You just don't know how much I love you and appreciate you. So again, as I always say before we get up out of here, I love you with the love of the Lord. This has been a great day. It's another day's journey, and I'm glad about it. Now, as you journey on, this is what I wish and pray on you and your life. Love and light, and I want you to have peace for your journey.